Imagine you wake up 10,000 years ago. No keyboard, no screen, no idea where you are. You look down. In your hand is a rock, and your mission is to build a computer. You look around. Nothing but trees, dirt, and sand. Lots and lots of sand. That's actually perfect, because a computer is just sand that learned to think. Step 1. Don't die. Same rules as always. You chip the rock into tools, build shelter, learn which plants won't kill you, figure out the animals. You get hurt. Survival is your full-time job, and it leaves zero room for thinking. So you do what humans have always done when they get tired of just surviving. You start farming. Clear land, plant crops, store food, breed animals. For the first time, you have a surplus. And a surplus means free time. And free time means everything. Now you can think, and the first thing worth thinking about is metal. You spot strange, heavy, colorful rocks, and you already know what to do with them. Heat. You build furnaces, burn charcoal, push temperatures higher than open fire ever reaches. Eventually, something inside melts. Copper first, then iron, then bronze. Your tools suddenly cut deeper and last longer. The Stone Age is behind you for good, but metal tools alone won't build a computer. You need to measure things precisely, so you invent mathematics from scratch. Counting becomes arithmetic. Arithmetic becomes algebra. You work out geometry, angles, ratios, the exact relationship between a circle and its diameter. You write everything down because knowledge that dies with you is useless. Then you go further. You chase the rules behind motion and change until you reinvent calculus. None of this feeds you. None of it keeps you warm. But without it, everything that comes next is impossible. Now back to that sand. You already know it contains something useful, silicon, but raw sand is worthless for what you need. You have to purify it, not a little, not a lot, to a level that sounds completely insane. You need silicon that is 99.9999% pure. One stray atom in the wrong place and the whole thing fails. This takes years. You build chemical refineries from scratch, develop acids, filtration systems, controlled environments. You fail constantly. You try again constantly. Eventually, you get there. You are holding the purest material ever created by human hands. Now the real work begins. You take that purified silicon and slice it into thin wafers. Then you do something that shouldn't be possible. You add tiny controlled amounts of other elements into the silicon. Phosphorus in some areas, boron in others. This changes how electrons move through the material. You have just created a semiconductor. A material that can either conduct electricity or block it depending on conditions you control. This is the entire foundation of modern computing, and you built it. From beach sand. Out of that semiconductor, you build a transistor. A transistor is just a switch. It has one job. Let electricity through or don't. On or off. 1 or 0. That's it. You build one by hand. It is the size of your fingernail, and it works. You nearly cry. Then you build 10. Then 100. Then you figure out how to etch them onto silicon using light and acid and chemistry until you can fit thousands on a surface the size of your thumbnail. Then millions. Then billions. A modern processor has over 3 billion transistors switching on and off billions of times per second, all working in perfect coordination. Each one still doing the same job as your first hand-built switch. On or off. 1 or 0. Now you wire transistors together into logic gates. A logic gate takes 2 inputs and produces 1 output based on simple rules. AND gates, OR gates, NOT gates. From those you build circuits that can add numbers. From addition, you build multiplication. From arithmetic, you build memory, the ability to store a number and recall it later. You stack memory into registers. You connect registers to arithmetic circuits. You add a control unit to coordinate everything. You have just built a CPU, a brain made of sand. But a brain with no way to communicate is useless. You build input and output systems, a keyboard, a screen, a way to store data long term. Then you write software, first in raw binary, 1s and 0s typed by hand. Then you build a language that translates human instructions into binary automatically. Then another language on top of that one. Then an operating system to manage everything. Layer after layer of abstraction until the machine feels almost intelligent. You connect 2 computers together with a wire, then 10 computers. Then you figure out how to send data through air instead of wire, and suddenly the network has no edges. The internet. And now you realize something. A computer was never really the invention. It was the destination. Every metal ever smelted, every equation ever solved, every atom ever purified was pointing here. To a rock that learned arithmetic, to sand that grew a memory, to the dumbest material on Earth. becoming the smartest thing in it. You started with a rock. You ended up with a machine that can simulate entire universes. The only difference between the two is about 10,000 years and a few billion transistors.